Hello everyone, welcome to Ajiro Tech. Ajiro Tech. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE Information and Communication Technology with the course code 0417 variant 13. Paper 1 theory, October, November 2023. And this was a paper that was released few days ago as of the time of this recording. Okay, please, the instructions are very important, so please go through them. Total mark for this paper 1 theory, is 80 marks. Question 1. Peter needs to create a validation check. Let me just get this and okay. And let me start off as a good student by writing my name, Ajiro Tech, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you pretty much want to do so. My center number is AN017. Candidate number is 2023. Okay. So question 1, Peter needs to create a validation check for product numbers. 3 examples of product numbers he needs to check are this. So we're given these numbers to check. Identify 2 validation checks he could use to check these numbers. Now this is going to take us to chapter 7 of the textbook. I'm just going to write it up here. This is going to be chapter 7. Under the system development lifecycle, we're looking at the design phase. Okay, design phase. So let's look at those validation checks that he needs to work on. Okay, so the first one is identify 2 validation checks. Here is check digit. When we talk about check digit, this helps to check the extra digits that have been added to what I'm doing the course of calculations to our numbers. Okay, the next one is they're all numbers, so I have type. The type what? Check. Okay, the type of character check. Okay, so hope that is understood. Okay, so let's move on. Question 2. A student has created a document with image for her geography project. The layout of page 1 is portrait orientation. Right there, portrait orientation. The student needs to set page 2 as landscape orientation. Before she can set the landscape orientation, she needs to insert a break. State the type of break that is needed. This is what we call a section break. Okay, this is what we call a section break. Now the whole idea of a section break is to create different kinds of sections, and where you have one with a different kind of orientation, the other with a different kind of orientation. Now this is what you will see in layout. Okay, this is chapter 13. Okay, chapter 13, layout. Okay, I want to be sure. Just going to scroll. I have my textbook side by side. Okay. Okay, how to create and edit a document. So layout. Okay, you see that right here, layout, so you can go through it. The B part is the student has placed images in the document. State 2 file format she could have used for the image. Okay, 5 formats you could have used for the image. So one of them is the JPG or the JPEG. Now this is chapter 11. This is going to be chapter 11 of the textbook, file management. Okay, file management. Okay, now another one is PNG. Okay, so we have .jpeg, .png. These are two file formats you could have used for the images. Okay, remember in this note you said of course she's carrying a geographic project, and of course pictures are going to be there, so she can use a JPEG or what, a PNG to insert on it. C, explain why a footer is used. I have it right here, headers and footers. So I'm just going to open it. Now when we are looking at footers, what is a header? A header is the area of a document between the top of the page and top of the margin, while a footer is the area of a document between the bottom of the page and bottom and between the bottom of the page and bottom margin. Okay, this is for header, top of the page and top margin, bottom of the page and what, bottom margin. So let's look at this. Let's look at why footers are used. Okay, so here we see that the first point here is information. See, header and footers are the same thing because they are areas of the document at the top of the page and top margin, bottom of the page and bottom margin. And the whole idea here is header and footers can be found in many printed documents, including those that have been word processed and desktop publication. Purpose. The purpose are there to make sure that each page have elements like page number, logo, titles placed consistently within them. Okay, they said if they are placed in the header or footer, they have to be placed once, but will be what? But will repeat on every word page, and this saves author a great deal of time and effort, not having to duplicate their work on every page. This is the purpose. Okay, this is why it is used. So information is what is repeated, or what, each page. Okay, and this saves time for the user. Okay, remember, whatever we are doing, this saves time for the student. Okay, to add information. Okay, manually. Another one is the information, like we've seen, only needs to be what, entered once. Okay, let's look at the next one. Hope that is clear. Question 3. A teacher is setting up a school shop. The teacher is setting up a spreadsheet to keep the account of the shop. Let's look at the A part. Figure 3.1 shows a box containing 50 choco bars to sell in the shop. The information of the box will be entered in the spreadsheet. So here we see that this is the choco bars. This is the special price. Okay, $1, $1.20. Here is contains 50 in the bars and sell by. Okay, let's look at this. State the most appropriate display format in the spreadsheet for each piece of data showed in the box. Your answer must be different in each case. The display format. Okay, display format. Now this is chapter 7, system development lifecycle, the design phase. Now under the design phase, we'll look at data types, because they're looking at what? Format. So let's look at A. What data type is for A? Okay, what data type is for A? Let's look at data type for A is what? Text. Okay, so that's text. Okay, text. For B, I have contains 50. That's what? Numeric, integer. For C, okay, sell by, that's numeric, date/time, and D, numeric currency. The B part, each box delivered to the school shop include a QR code. Explain why QR codes are used. Now you're going to see this in chapter 2. Okay, input and output devices, and we're going to see this at what? DDE. That is direct data entry. Okay, so let's look at why the QR codes are used. Okay, now for QR codes, the first thing here is can be read, okay, by any device. Please note that the QR code simply means quick response, okay, codes. It contains more information than what? The barcodes. Do you understand? So can be read by any device with a camera, okay, and maybe a suitable software. Another point is it can contain link. Very important, can contain link. Most of my classes, my free classes that I organize, Ajiro Tech for IGCSE ICT, they are usually on QR code, so you can just scan them on your social medias, and then it gives you the link to join the class. So it can contain links, to what? To more information, okay, about the product, okay, about the product, which is what I said earlier on about the products. Let's see how many marks it is. Okay, 4 marks. Okay, another one is it can contain can contain can contain information about the product. So not just link, but by the time you scan it, it just shows you the information about the product. The physical size, that's the beauty. The physical size of the what? The QR code, okay, can be small, okay. Therefore, taking up less space on the box. Okay, let's look at the C part. The teacher has created a formula in the spreadsheet that calculates the cost of purchasing a numbers of different items. She has created a formula that, let's look at it, subtracts the discount per item from the price of the item to find the cost of the item. What do we mean? So discounts of the item subtract the discount subtracts the discount per item from the price of item. So that is the price of item minus let me see. Okay, so this one subtracting this, yes, discount per item from the price of item to find the cost of the item. Then multiply the cost of the item by the quantity. So it's going to subtract this minus the discount, multiply with this is going to give us what? This. The formula she entered into the cell is this. This is B2 minus C2 times D2. When the formula is entered into the cell, the result is not what she expected. Okay. Now remember, this is chapter 20 spreadsheet. Okay. Now in spreadsheet we have what we call the board mass. Okay. So the B, I think I can put this here. The B here is the bracket. The O here is the order. The D here is, now this order could be indices, okay, and division. The N is what? Multiplication. A, we have addition, and the S is what? Subtraction. So we all have an idea of what this is. Okay, so it's not what you expected. The result should be 15. Explain why the result was not 15. Okay, so and these 2 marks. So let's explain. Now the reason why this was not so is because if you look at this formula, this is going to be equals to This is what will happen first. Is step 1 will be C2 multiplied by what? D2. Let's call this what? E2. Then B2 minus what? E2. This is what you're going to have. And that's why we have what? A negative. Because it's going to carry out the multiplication first before carrying out the subtraction what? Before carrying out what? The subtraction. That's why. So to explain why this result was not $15 is she needs to put a bracket here. Now this bracket changes the order to tell the program that you have to carry out this operation first, because now bracket is now ahead of what? The multiplication. So the bracket will be carried out first. So whatever you have, this, let's say this is E2. So in this case, step 1 is equals to, step 1 now will now be B2 because it's already in bracket, B2 minus C2. Then if you have E2, step 2 will now be E2 multiply what? D2. This is what you now have. So let's put this and let's explain this. And let's explain this. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. So here, the bracket, or what we call your parenthesis, right? Parenthesis. Okay, that's the spelling. Was missing. Around B2 minus what? D2. Sorry. B2 minus C2. Another point, the multiplication is, so what happened here? The multiplication was carried out first, then the subtraction. For others, the order of calculation should follow BODMAS. Okay, so hope that is clear. Question 4. A company's computer system is protected by both a user ID and a password. Explain how a user ID and a password are used to increase the security. Okay, to increase the security of data. 6 marks. So this is chapter 8 of the textbook, safety and what? Security. Okay, so let's look at this. So let's look at how this is it, how this can increase the security. So passwords increase security as they are only known by the user. A strong password. Remember, they said a password, so it can be a strong password. Okay, it's a combination of upper case, lower case, character, okay, symbol, number. Okay, another point is, remember, it's a company computer system, so the user ID give different what access levels in the computer system. So it simply means that there are certain information that you cannot access because of your level. Another point is, if someone knew your user ID, they could only gain access with the correct password. So let's say another point. The user ID and password combined protect against unauthorized access. Yes, I think the last one would be the user ID ensures the account is accessed, okay. The password then ensures the account is protected. Okay, so this is just a whole lot of ideas putting up together when you go to chapter 8 to ensure that what the ID could do on its own and what the password can do on its own. But when we bring them together, we'll see that both of them can what increase what the security of data on your device. Okay. The company plans to improve the security of its computer system by using biometric methods. Describe what is meant by biometric methods. Give 2 examples of biometrics. Okay. So the first thing is that it is a form of authentication. Let's see how many marks is this. That's one. 2, it is unique to what the user. Example 1 is, what are those examples of biometrics? We have fingerprints, we have voice, we have facial recognition, we have the retina, we have, so I think that's all. There's even signature. You see that in chapter 8 of the textbook as well. This is chapter 8 of the textbook, chapter 8. A student needs to purchase a new computer for use on his university course. The laptop available to him are one that contains a solid state drive or one that only stores data on the internet using the cloud. Evaluate these two types of laptop. So we're going to look at laptop with SSD, and then we'll look at what? The laptop with what? The cloud storage. So let's evaluate. How many marks is this? So I'm just going to start with the one that is quite easy for me to remember right now, and which is the cloud storage. Cloud storage. Now this is for the laptop. No need to pull laptop. Now for the cloud storage, let's when we talk about evaluate here, we are judging, right, both sides to look at the benefit, and then to also look at what the drawbacks. So for cloud storage, more storage are available. You can always upgrade, so more storage is what is available. Okay, let's look at the next one. The data, okay, the information, or the information is available on what other device if the laptop becomes faulty. Okay, it is expensive as what storage needs to be bought. Okay, again, I can add one more. There is automatic backup. Automatic backup of data, so there is what less chance of losing data. Let's look at laptops with SSD. Let's look at the one laptop with what SSD. The user SSD, the user would retain control over what the data stored. There's also a greater security. As the laptop is always with you. For others, after the initial payment of the laptop, there is nothing there's nothing to there's nothing to pay for. Now this includes storage. You don't have to pay for storage once you have made purchase of the laptop. Okay? Question 6. A computer model can be used to design and test a bridge before it is built. Discuss the benefit and drawback of using a computer model before building a bridge. Okay, so this is what you see this in chapter 6, ICT application. Okay, you see it in what? Modeling. Okay, modeling. Now let's look at it. Now let's talk about the benefit. How many marks is it? So we have 6. Okay, let's see. Let me start with the benefit first. Now the whole idea of modeling is this. Now for modeling, you are able to just have a visual representation of the structure before it is being built, and you are able to just run in scenarios. Okay, scenarios that would be nearly impossible if you had built the real thing. You're testing the system to see how it's going to work in real life. Okay, so this is why the first benefit is one, cheaper. It's cheaper than what? Building a physical what? Bridge. So it's cheaper than building what? A physical bridge. Instead of building the bridge, you could run a 3D virtual representation of that bridge and carry out so many scenarios on how the bridge is, if the bridge can be able to withstand some certain weathers or storm, etc., etc. Another one is it is safer. Okay, it is safer to what? To check environmental what? Environmental factors to see if the bridge can be able to withstand or not. Another one is tests can be carried out. Okay, tests can be carried out with extreme weather conditions. So they use a lot of weather conditions virtually to see if this bridge is able to just withstand those harsh weather conditions. Again, It is also safer as the bridge could collapse, okay, if not tested properly. So we have to test it properly. So let's look at drawbacks. Now the drawbacks, here is error in the software, could be catastrophic. Catastrophic. Okay, so it really means that it could cause a catastrophic effect, right? Where the software is not giving out the right word variables or the right values. Another one is it requires, okay, extra skilled staffs to maintain the model. Okay, too many variables to cover them all is also there. Okay, that will also be a disadvantage. Of course, you need the programmer to be able to create the model. Question 7. Rocket aircraft. Rocket aircraft manufactures and flies aeroplane. The pilot at rocket aircraft are trained using extended realities. Describe what is meant by extended reality. Now you're going to see this in chapter 1, which is the types and components of the computer system, and then you are going to see what extended, which is the last part of chapter 1. You're going to see what we call extended realities. We have various kinds of realities. We have the virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Okay, so let's explain what is meant by what extended. Okay, we'll talk about extended. Okay, here it is extended is seen as a kind of um, mixture of virtual reality and what augmented reality. That's one. Okay, it also allows, I think I'll write this, allow seamless interaction between the real and virtual world. Two is a mixture, like I said earlier, of what the virtual reality and augmented reality. Okay, some of the components used in the manufacture of aircraft are produced using a 3D printer. Okay, so they are produced using a 3D printer. Analyze the use of a 3D printer to make this component rather than making the component by hand. Now, 3D printers, chapter 2, input and output. We also see something here in chapter 6, But yes, chapter 6, we are talking about um, ICT application, and we're talking about I think medical or something. Yes, I think there's something about 3D printer there. But I'm not going to include this because this is not medical. So chapter 2. Let's analyze the use of a 3D printer. Okay, so to use a 3D printer, how many marks is this? 6 marks. The quality of the 3D printer is what? Is consistent. Okay, it helps to minimize waste. Okay, the initial design, or if rather, if the initial design is incorrect, it is harder to correct. Okay, so let's take note of that. The initial cost of the printer could be costly. It's very expensive, guys. Another one is, let's talk about the whole process. The whole process of what? Setting up. The whole process of setting up and printing. Setting up and printing the component can be quicker. What else? It requires a skilled programmer. Okay, so it requires skilled programmers, which could be expensive. Okay, this paper was these are questions kind of tricky. The paper is kind of tricky, but it's not something you don't know. It's something you know because it's right there in the textbook, and you just need to just apply what you know into the question. Many devices, question 8, many devices in the home can be connected to the internet so they can be controlled remotely. These devices are called smart devices. A house contains a smart security system. Describe the benefit and drawback of using a smart security system. This is chapter 5. Chapter 5. Okay, under the effect of using IC. So let's talk about the benefit. How many mark is this? So let's talk about the benefit. The benefits what? Talk about increase sense of what? Security. Now this is because they can be controlled remotely. So for perhaps you didn't lock your door when you were in a hurry. With your phone, you can now lock the door. Okay. Another benefit is you receive immediate alert if there is a what? Security breach. Let's talk about the drawbacks. If access to the internet is lost, then control of the system is lost. Okay, another one here is you may not be able to deal with intruders. Who are intruders? People come into your house, okay, without your permission, or they're going to your house when you're not around. Okay, if you are in a long way, okay, if you are far away, okay, you can only see them, but you can't call in. You can call the security on them, but probably it will be too late and they have stolen all your things. Okay, that sounded very funny. Okay, yes. Let's look at the 8B. Identify two sensors that could be used with the smart security system. Now, this is chapter 2 of the textbook. Chapter 2, where you have your input and, of course, your output. Okay, device. And here we're talking about, under the input, we're talking about the sensor. So, the sensor that could be used with your smart security system is light, very important. And I will explain, especially at dark, if there's any presence, there should be lights. So light, okay. There should be temperature. Okay, so temperature should be there for central heating and cooling. Part of the smart security system involves an automated gate for vehicles approaching the house. There is a CCTV camera at the gate, and the smart security system has software for recognizing each vehicle plate. Okay, so here now we are being asked, so we are to explain how automatic number plate recognition system works. So this is, okay, so this is chapter 6 ICT application. Okay, now let's look at it. Okay, let's look at it. Now the first thing here is the image. The image is taken, the image is taken of the front of the vehicle. Now, the next thing is the image is sent to the software. Okay, the software isolates the number plate from the image. Okay, from the image. Yes, there is color brightness to ensure that every digit of the number plate is clearly seen. Okay, each character is read using what? The optical character watch recognition software. Then the next thing is that the number plate is searched in the database. Okay. And what else? Once the database is searched, if the number plate is identified, the gate is open for the vehicle. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next one. Describe 3 problems when the ANPL system reads a vehicle number plate. So what's the first problem? The first one is the number plate has not been added. Has not been added to the system. Another thing is that the number plate may be too dirty to read. Okay. And another one, it could be it can also use in legal fonts. The number plate may use illegal fonts. Okay, for others, it could be that they may be in a poor weather condition. Okay, maybe in a poor weather condition, and that can actually affect. The secretary of Tower University has created web page for former students. The former students are adults. State the design features of the web page that would meet the needs of this target audience. okay, that will meet the needs of this. So let's take design features that will meet the needs of this what target audience. So what are the target audience here? We have what the adult. Okay, so we have one here, large fonts, large fonts to help those with visual impairment. Two, clear fonts. Three, balance balancing of text and image. Four, keep the context simple. A five, interactive. Six, interesting content. These are some of the things here in summary how we can do that. This is chapter 9, audiences. The web page conforms to the university corporate house style. Describe why a corporate house style is used. Okay, so 3 marks here is provides consistency, okay. People people using the web page must know is part of the university. Is part of what? Of the university website. Okay, it also allows all documentation to contain the same header information. Okay, also it saves time on putting new documentation details as well. Okay, this is what you see in styles chapter 14. Styles. I want to be sure. Okay, so that will be okay styles. Okay. I think you see that in the beginning of the textbook. Again, you also see the font, the area, and Times New Roman in font face. So here the question is, here, how style is used to make sure that all document and material from the organization have what? Consistency. It saves time in what? In planning. Give two design features of a corporate house style. For design features, we have the corporate font style, which we use in our paper 2 subheading, subtitle. So corporate font style, corporate font size, corporate colors used, and also inclusion of the logo. Inclusion of the logo. There's also layout of the address, position of text. So let's look at this. A school has employed a system analyst to help update its computerized examination system. The system analyst research the current system to see what will be required in a new system. State the method of researching the current system that I described. So you are going to see this here, chapter 7. Chapter 7, under the system development life cycle, you are going to see the analysis phase. Analysis. State the method of researching the current system that I described. Talking to the network manager to help update this computer. Talking to the network manager and examination officer about the current system. That's interviews. Interviews. Watching the user operating the current system. That's observation. Form sent out to all users to complete and return. That's questionnaires. Okay. Again, we have four methods of researching the current system. The one that is not here is examination of the existing document. After completing the analysis, the new system needs to be designed. One item that needs to be designed is a file structure. Identify three other items that will need to be designed. Okay, so we have data structure. Okay, we have the input format. We have the validation routine. We also have the output format as well. Okay, Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video. I want to talk about a very important YouTube channel called Ajiro Tech. Trust me, this YouTube channel is a giveaway. It's loaded with IGCSE ICT O level, AS, and A level. So trust me, you is a giveaway. This channel is helpful for your group studies, your personal studies, and it has a proven track record of producing excellent results. So do me a favor, click on the subscribe button, okay, and share this YouTube channel with your friend. Trust me, that will be the best gift that you're giving to them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.